Jack Hanna and his wife Susie as they encounter wildlife like never before on Jack Hanna's Into the Wild, part of One Magnificent Morning, only on the CW.
Because the fight isn't over yet.
You will see me choose to protect my community by wearing a face cover.
And even with my face covered,
You will see me as a son, as a man with a never quit attitude,
as a fighter for change.
join me in wearing a face cover
to help stop the spread of the coronavirus.
because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to make a big difference.
We now return to Tales of Valor, part of One Magnificent Morning on the CW.
Everyone loves a friend like the dog in our next story. Lights up a room when they walk in. Always happy. Everyone loves this dog, especially Julia. Like many college students, life seemed unpredictable for Julia, and she wasn't sure where to turn. Enter Stanley, and like the lovable, barking center of attention he is, lit up Julia's world as soon as he walked in the room. This is Stanley, a 2-year-old standard poodle lab mix who's pushing the boundaries of what service dogs can do. His handler, Julia, experienced multiple psychological and physical challenges, and amazingly, Stanley's been trained to help her overcome every single one of them.
I feel that Stanley is the peanut butter to my jelly. I think he's awesome. He's goofy, he's fun. You can go into a room and know that no one's looking at you. They're all like eyes on Stanley. Yeah, thanks. Eyes on Stanley.
When this playful dog has his service vest on, he's all business, and that's because there's a lot that's required of him.
Stanley is a multi-purpose service dog, so he's cross-trained in a couple different areas. So he does psychiatric service dog tasks, he does medical alerts.
One of the main medical alerts that Stanley performs is for a rare heart condition that Julia struggles with.
I was diagnosed with neurocardiogenic syncope, which just means that the nerve that's in control of keeping your heart pace, mine kind of glitches, which then makes me faint.
Amazingly, Stanley is able to use his sense of smell to detect Julia's heart rate and knows just what to do if he senses a rise in her blood pressure.
For my neurocardiogenic syncope, Stanley will alert me by pawing my leg, and if I'm sitting, he'll paw and climb onto me and push down, not letting me get up, because if I was to get up, I would faint and fall over and hurt myself.
When Julia's heart condition is causing mobility issues, Stanley is trained to help remove items of clothing and fetch objects for her. But this is just the beginning when it comes to what Stanley can do.
I suffer from chronic migraines as well. Majority of the time, I go blind and I end up not being able to move. It's very scary.
Stanley can smell if Julia has high serotonin, a sign of an oncoming migraine, and is trained to warn her if one is imminent.
Before I have a migraine, Stanley will sniff and start licking the inside of my ear very intensely. That lets me know something's going to happen. I need to take my medication to alleviate a migraine from happening.
Stanley might be the only trained service dog in Julia's household, but he's certainly not the only animal.
Currently in my house, we have 5 animals. Tristan, the Jack Russell, Stanley, Cindy Lou, my cat.
Alex, my husband, has Dita. She's a German short-hair pointer. And we now have a little puppy girl called Annie. And then Julia also has had a lifelong equine buddy named Leo.
Leo is my horse. He's my American paint horse. I've had him for 13 years. He's important to me because we've been through a lot of crazy adventures. I wouldn't even be here without him.
Each and every one of these animals has supported Julia emotionally over the years. On top of her physical illnesses, Julia also deals with depression, anxiety, and schizotypal personality disorder, a mild form of schizophrenia. Fortunately, Stanley has the training to help her in these areas as well.
If I'm having an anxiety attack, Stanley will come across and lie down on me, and he helps do tactile stimulation. So for me, licking really helps. So he'll vigorously lick my hands or my arm to help calm everything down.
Julia didn't always struggle with psychological disorders and led a very normal childhood.
Julia always has been fun-loving, positive, and always has been an animal person.
When I was younger, a lot of my psychological disabilities that are happening now weren't active back then. It happened when I was 18.
When Julia left for college, her many disorders began to develop. It was her boyfriend, Benjamin, who was the first to notice something was wrong.
Julie was going through a really depressed moment in her life. Her overall attitude of positivity turned into one of negativity. That's really when I started to notice a huge change in her.
At that time, when I was 18, I did the worst thing you could do. Isolate yourself and not talk and just kind of push it down and push it down and push it down.
While she was at college, Julia tried to hide her disorders, but only made her situation worse.
Clearly, when she came home from college, there was a big change in her.
She would spend a lot of time in her room. So she was kind of a recluse in a lot of ways. She wasn't highly social. She wasn't her bright, chipper, perky, happy self that she once was.
There could have been times when she was contemplating hurting herself.
Seeing that change is what scared me and which was the breaking point.
Julia was intrigued by the idea of getting a service dog, but she wasn't sure if she would be eligible.
I'm not a war vet. I'm not a child who has autism. I'm not just this one thing. So I lost a lot of courage and a lot of gumption from that until I learned that you're allowed to owner train and work with a puppy of your choice.
To begin owner training, Julia would have to start with a pup. She searched several litters before discovering Stanley. He had the perfect temperament and she was ready to get started, but not without a little help.
One of my friends, Ronnie, she had him from 8 weeks to 10 months. She herself is a service dog handler. Julia's needs were very complex with training Stanley. She had multiple different disabilities that had to be looked at with training Stanley. Most of what I did with Stanley was the basics with obedience. Most of what was done task-wise has been her training.
Because Julia owner trained Stanley, she was able to customize his training specifically to her needs. The process was so successful that now Stanley is completely in tune with Julia and is always monitoring her, right down to her heartbeat.
The fact that he can pick up on different personality changes is amazing. He does cardiac alerts. There's a lot of different things that he does that I didn't realize that a dog could do.
Once Julia brought Stanley home to live with us, her whole life was different. She was more outgoing. She was laughing and giggling the way that she used to when she was growing up.
He really turned her life around. I would never have thought we would get there because of Stanley, and we did.
The change I've seen in Julia has been so profound. She's happy again. She smiles, she laughs.
Thanks to Stanley, Julia is far from the recluse she was. But training is not done yet. Julia's family loves to go on canoe trips. If Julia wants to go, then Stanley is going to have to get used to being in a canoe.
Stanley and Julia in the canoe? It's going to be interesting.
Stanley and I are about to go canoeing for the first time. I'm feeling a little bit nervous, to be honest.
It's an important step for Julia because it's one of the pieces of her new life, her new journey.
It's difficult for a dog to be in a canoe. The first few times that they're in there, it's scary for them. It's rocking, and you hear the water running against the canoe. It can be a scary environment for them.
Find out what happens when Stanley takes the helm.
Stanley pushes me to do those things that I wouldn't normally have done.
When Tales of Valor returns.
Tales of Valor, part of One Magnificent Morning on the CW. We'll be right back.
Why hide your skin if Dupixent has your moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis under control?
Hide my skin? Not me.
By hitting eczema where it counts, Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, keeping you one step ahead of eczema. And that means long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief for adults.
Hide my skin? Not me.
By helping to control eczema with Dupixent, you can show more with less eczema. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. When you help heal your skin from within, you can change how your skin looks and feels. And that's the kind of change you notice. Talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent, a breakthrough eczema treatment. Kit Kat is brewing up a new mix with creamy mocha flavor and delicious chocolate. Introducing Kit Kat duos Mocha and Chocolate. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
There are all kinds of pets, and while they may look different, they all want one thing, a loving home. So for every Bob's footwear or apparel purchase, Skechers makes a donation to the Petco Foundation, and we've already saved the lives of over 1 million pets. Make a difference with Bob's from Skechers.
Does scrubbing grease and food feel like a workout? Scrub less with Dawn Platinum. Its superior formula breaks down and removes up to 99% of tough grease and food residue faster, so you can scrub less. Dawn Platinum is also a go-to grease cleaner for your sink, your kitchen, and to pre-treat grease on laundry. Dawn's even gentle enough to clean wildlife. Tackle grease wherever it shows up. Dawn Platinum. Scrub less, save more with Dawn.
When I grew up having dogs, we always fed them kibble. It just seemed like the thing to do.
I should have known that whatever you put in your body makes a huge difference. With Farmer's Dog, it was a complete 180.
It's just so fresh that she literally gets bubbles in her mouth.
You can identify the turkey.
It smells like actual food. As he's aged, he's still quite youthful. I really attribute that to diet.
Get 50% off your first box at longlivedogs.com.
You're watching One Magnificent Morning, Saturdays on the CW.
Surprise is more important than strength.
How about now? I feel like I should be doing more. See a sister in need, be helping.
Never stepped in the way of destiny. Let go of desire. Let go of fear.
Food. New episode Wednesday at 8 on the CW Philly.
CBSN Philly is now on the Pluto TV app. Download the app for free. Go to News and Opinion and find CBSN Philly. Watch CBSN Philly on the Pluto TV app today.